What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Man, La Papos Locas. Almost went to food coma, dude. I had to put half of it away. So if you guys follow me on IG, you guys know what I'm talking about. Las Papos Locas, man. Loaded baked potato asada, loaded baked potato with extra queso, extra topping. Oh my god, I've been craving baked potato for so long, and finally went and got it today. And I had to cut it short because I know that if I ate the whole thing, it would probably knock me out today. So we're in the garage, guys, and we're gonna do a ton of work. Our goal, by the time we finish this video, the car should be turned on. If you guys haven't seen the last video, we finally planted the Facebook K20a2 into the EF sedan, the silver one, because obviously there's 3 of them: blue, black, greenish. I'm pretty sure I have just about everything to fire this car over. While I was out getting some food, I went to the parts store. I got oil, I got power steering fluid for the van because it's kind of leaking, and I have a new relay because when this car was down, I did rob the relay out of it too. So got the relay right here, and everything else that needs to go on is obviously here in the garage. So I am going to get straight to work. I'm just going to install whatever I need to install to get this thing to fire over, and then hopefully button up everything else as far as like the front end stuff goes. So with that being said, let's get cracking. We'll just start with the relay since it's already in my hand. If you guys didn't know the relay pattern, you see that one on the right, it's further out than the rest of them. And my harness, if you look, you can see that one that's further than the rest of them. And this relay should just kind of plug in easily. I think I took this relay for my JDM EF2 when I did the fuel pump to the trunk. The relay was originally bolted right there. So the relay is secured back into place, and I think this is for the fan because it has the AWD 0 fan. And oh yeah, it is for the fan. Oh, I found this plug a little while ago in my distributor box, because if you guys don't know, AWD 1 has this style plug, and the AWD 1 chassis, like EGs and DCs, they have this plug for the fan. So I think I shoved this in here a little while ago to remind myself to put a plug on here rather than spade terminals. So it looks like we're gonna wire up this to that, and then the other side to the fan right there. Also, I'm gonna put the battery back on the trickle charger because it didn't glow green yesterday. I kind of want to see where the battery voltage is sitting at because it was on the charger for a little while. Power. Oh, we're at 12 volts. I'm gonna put it on the charger anyways. Fan plugs are wired in on both sides. Now I want to move into the car and do the engine harness and the power cable for the starter and the alternator. So this car sat since November, and I opened the door and there's like a ton of spider webs. Can't do my yoga flames in here, but gotta get some of these webs off because that only means that there's spiders living in here. Ooh. Okay, he's definitely dead. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a dead spider chilling right behind my fuse box. But yeah, anyways, so engine harness. This is my little DIY conversion harness that I made, and you know what, this thing actually worked flawlessly. Although it looks like a mess, I will clean it up when the car is all said and done with the tune. When the car is done tuned, it just lets me know that everything right here works, then I'll loom everything up. But anyways, I did disconnect a plug right there, so I gotta pin that back in. I actually need to go to the junkyard. I need to get that opposite end of the plug right here for the brown plug for the EF and DA guys, because right now it's just spade terminal connection, right? And then we'll button up this harness. But yeah, anyways, on the C101 plug, as mentioned before, you got to swap out the 2 white wires, which I'm gonna double check it, but it's these 2 white wires right there, It's hard to see on the GoPro, but yeah, I need to swap these two guys, and then we can plug it up to this right here. And this is my boost controller. So I got to wire in a wire for the boost controller. I got to figure out the pin for that. You know, it pays to have extra ECU plugs lying around. We have AWD2, RSX, we have AWD1 right there, a bunch of like cluster plugs and dash plugs in case we need a pin. In our case, we needed a pin for B21 for the Mac boost solenoid. And when I gave the harness to Tazzy, that pin, that wire was still on that harness. So I got an extra wire, pin it into B21 right here. Mac solenoid has 2 wires. The other one goes to power, which is right here off the fuse box. So harness for the most part is done. C101, 2 white wires are switched. These 2 right here, bottom corner, and the one next to the plug, this white wire right here, those are switched, plugged in. 3 ECU plugs, and I also have the charge harness connected right here. And I realized the fuse box panel was not on. And I looked up and I was like, why are you not in place? And I looked up and I noticed that right there, dead centered in the screen, my relay is gone. And I remember taking this out for the JDM EF2. I know I don't have a spare fuse box, so I'm gonna have to rob it back out of the right-hand drive to make sure that everything works in this car. I don't know if that's the starter relay, but we definitely need it. Now that the wiring is done right here, I'm gonna go ahead and put on the downpipe from the turbo to the bottom section right here. I'm gonna take off the injector plugs because we're gonna be priming the engine a few times to get some oil circulated through the entire engine and the feed line for the turbo. We don't want to dump a bunch of fuel in here. There we go. Now we got to put some engine oil in here. Got my red zone funnel. Got some throwback playing in the background. The oil filter was new when we assembled this engine right here, so I don't need to change that. We are running Rotella like always. Zinc additive. The tune that's in the ECU was when the car made 400 plus horsepower on a dyno before the ring lands broke. So because we're using stock injectors now, I'm gonna load back up my startup base map for this car and run those stock injectors. But first, gotta make sure I have my tune map saved. EF Sedan K20a2 startup. Right here, I'm gonna select that. I do still have the Omni 4-bar map sensor on here, so I gotta change that out real quick. Map sensor, replacement, Omni 4-bar. And then I'm gonna go ahead and load that up now. Fuel is priming. I don't see any leaks. It has 50 PSI currently on the gauge, but I don't smell any fuel leaks, so that's good. One more thing I'm gonna do here is calibrate the TPS sensor, and then we're gonna crank the car over. I just realized I have a check engine light for IAT, which I have right here on the charge pipe. So I'm gonna grab an extra one just to throw it in for now to get rid of the check engine light. The engine sounds good, so let's fire this thing over. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. We have a check engine light for TDC, which I believe is the exhaust side. TDC. Not sure what to look at here. I don't know if the sensor is bad, but we have a check engine light for this, and it's probably why the engine is not turning over. So I replaced the sensor to see if it'll fix the problem, since I do have 3 cylinder heads right there. So I robbed one just to see if we can get rid of that check engine light and fire this car over. It started up for a second, but then it died out. So let's go ahead and attempt this one more time. This thing is kicking out a lot of smoke between the cooling system, which is normal, and all over the downpipe and everything. So when this motor popped, oil got into every single crevices. I'm talking about oil in this line, oil in the downpipe, oil in the exhaust housing, and I'm sure all that smoke is from burning off the oil. And also because we cranked it over a few times, it wouldn't turn over with the check engine light. We probably put a lot of fuel in the chamber, but it turns on and it idles. I felt the pedal a little sticky, so I had to adjust that a little bit, but it held idle. It turned on. It is like 10 o'clock right now, and I'm debating on putting the entire front end back on the car. No, I can do that tomorrow. Guys, I've only been in the garage for like 35 minutes and I am sweating bullets. Today is 92 degrees, overcast, and raining. What kind of weather is this? I mean, it was raining a cool minute ago and then it stopped, and now it's just musty. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and just button up the entire front end of the engine setup, which includes the radiator, the hoses, intercooler on that custom bracket that we made. Let's get to it. So I've had this car idling for about an hour now, and that's probably, I don't know, that's probably like the 20th fan cycle. But good to know the fan is working per the ECU, and the car is cooling off because the fan is also turning off. So I drove it around the block a little bit, and my brakes are gone. I don't know where my brakes went. It's straight to the floor, and I'm gonna have to bleed the brakes again to get my pressure back. Kind of weird because the brakes worked before. I drove it around no problems, and the car just sat since November, so that's unusual. Another thing too is we don't have the Ironman clutch in the car anymore. We have the Action twin disc, and the engagement is off the floor, so I most definitely have to adjust the clutch a little bit to kind of bring it up a little higher. I'm not worried about it right now. The car's still going to be on the driveway for a few more days just to kind of button up everything with it before I move it over there, and then we get the KRX onto the driveway so we can get cracking on that. I'm overall super happy because everything seems good with it, and everything sounds great as well too. So I'm pretty stoked to have the silver sedan back up and going. I mean, with the help of this car going down, silver car is up and going. I'm letting the car run a little longer just to kind of burn off all of the oil that's in the downpipe, the turbo manifold, the exhaust system. It was smoking for a cool minute, but after driving around and parking it right there for a little while, it seems to have settled down a lot. But I just want to burn it completely off, although the car is going to be running to moving today forward. I just don't want to smoke out my block here every time I turn on this car. All right, guys, so I decided that I'm going to wrap it up for today. We still got the sun out right there, and not much I want to do as far as like more work today because the weather is kind of musty. Realistically, it's just the brakes I'm going to adjust tomorrow. I might do a compression test tomorrow, and honestly, it's just injectors. Once I get injectors, this thing should be ready to get up on the dyno. I did call my buddy Eric with the Turbo CRV. Me and him, I'm going to order from the homie B&R Fittings. We're both going to get a boost controller, one for the KRX, one for his car. He already got everything else he needs for his car, and then once I am done with mine, we're going to schedule a dyno tune, hopefully to get both cars on the dyno the same day. So a few more work to do with the car before I think it's ready to go. I did mention that the wheel bearing was bad, and realistically I just didn't tighten up the axle nut. So once I shot it in place, secured the little tab, the wheel bearing does not move anymore. So that's Gucci. But as far as the sedan goes, it is back up and going, guys. So we're gonna wrap it up right here. I hope you guys enjoyed the progress update on the silver sedan. If you guys did, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for more progress update on this car, and also possibly maybe the start of tearing apart the KRX later this week as well too, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.